Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and as you can see, I'm sure you already took note of the thumbnail and the name titled on this video, but looking at you right here is a figure that we have all been waiting for a very long time. It just a few weeks ago went up for sale on everythingdinosaur.com, so I tried to put an order in pretty quick to get one, and I am not disappointed with that order. This is something that I've been looking forward to ever since Eofauna launched their initial line with the Steppe Mammoth, and I did get that figure and I thought it was absolutely incredible. If you do want to see a review of that, I will throw a link in the description to that review. Then they released the straight-tusked elephant, and I did not get that one yet, which is actually really kicking me in the butt because these Eofauna figures are absolutely beautiful. But I will get to that one hopefully very soon because it looks just as incredible. But anybody that knows me knows I am a huge dinosaur guy, more so than any other type of a prehistoric creature. I love all prehistoric animals, but dinosaurs themselves, hence the name of the channel, is probably my favorite thing in the entire world. So when I found out they were finally going to make a dinosaur, I was beyond excited. And then when I found out they were going to make a Giganotosaurus, I was even more excited. And now that I have this Giganotosaurus here in my hands, I can't even begin to express my excitement level. This thing is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, without me rambling on all day, let's get a closer look at it so you can see just how amazing. So starting up here at the head sculpt, straight away you can see how nicely detailed the entire head sculpt of this Giganotosaurus is. There is just so many tiny, minute little scales all over the head, and you can honestly really get an idea completely of the structure of the head and skull just by looking at the detailing of this figure. There are so many little bumps protruding kind of from the skin, just giving you an idea of what the actual skull of the animal looked like, and that is just incredibly impressive, something you don't see very often in dinosaur figures or any kind of an animal figure, honestly. But Eofauna has pulled this off brilliantly as far as the head sculpt goes of this dinosaur figure. And you can see the entire palate is sculpted very nicely. You've got beautifully sculpted nostrils up here at the front of the figure, and the eye itself is sculpted really nicely, but actually my eye has kind of a little bit of sloppiness to the paint right there. You can see that the yellow of the eye is run down probably a little further than it should have, but if we look at the opposing side, you can see that that eye is painted perfectly. It really looks nice. So I can forgive the slight bit of sloppiness on this side. It was just probably something that was overlooked and hopefully not any kind of a widespread issue. But judging by Eofauna's past as far as the previous figures go, I think this is probably a one-off, or at least I would hope so, because they normally pride themselves on quality, and it really shines through on this Giganotosaurus. Looking at the lower jaw also has really beautiful sculpting of the scales, and again you can see just the way that it's shaped, the form of the lower jaw as far as the bone goes on the inside of the skin just looks incredible. The way they've done that on this figure, it's just something that is just incredibly impressive to me. So they've really stepped up the game as far as these dinosaur figures go, and they have me just super excited for any future releases that Eofauna does release as far as dinosaurs go. In general, I'm pretty excited about anything Eofauna releases, but dinosaurs specifically, I cannot wait to see what else they have in store. Now, this dinosaur does have an articulated jaw, which is something a lot of people will be pleased about, and I think it's really quite cool. The inside of the mouth is pretty much just one solid color, honestly, but the actual sculpting of the detail is beautiful in there if you look. Really incredible, super realistic too. And it's got a beautiful gloss, a very realistic gloss that just really jumps out at you and shines to make it have that nice, real, genuine, wet look that it would have on the inside of the mouth. I would have preferred, again, a little bit more as far as coloration goes, and not just all that one coloration, but it's still really beautiful. And then you can see the teeth themselves are all sculpted individually, all painted really quite nicely. There's a tiny bit of sloppiness here and there, but that's kind of to be expected. But one thing that is super cool about the teeth as well, if you look as I'm turning it, you can see that there is a nice gloss that has been added to the teeth as well, giving them a real genuine type of a look, a very real living type of a look. So again, Eofauna is really using the gloss exactly where they should as far as these figures go, and it's really paying off in the overall final product because it looks fantastic. I definitely dig this coloration too. I like this coloration up here on the upper part of the crest as far as the dinosaur goes, but I think the overall coloration in general is a very realistic type of a look, something I could without question see a dinosaur actually looking like as far as the coloration goes. So that is another big time plus for me as far as the coloration and overall appearance of this figure. Then as we start to run down the neck, just look at the insane, absolutely insane amount of sculpt in the neck. There is so much skin wrinkling going on here and so many different folds of the skin and creases all over the place that it is just something that honestly should make your jaw drop. It is incredible how much time was spent just here on the neck as far as the sculpting goes and the way the detail is, and just in general the way the skin looks, because it's really showing just how nicely it's reacting to the movement of the dinosaur. You can see that on this side there's still a lot of skin folds and kind of creases in the skin present, but because the dinosaur is turning its head to the right, there are much more on this side. It's really scrunching up that skin. So the way they really paid attention to the movement of the dinosaur with their model is incredibly impressive to me, and they did a fantastic job overall everywhere so far as we run down this body. Coming down into the shoulder, you can see the shoulder blade a little bit protruding from the skin, but it's not like it's shrink wrapped or anything, so it looks very nice. Beautiful musculature here in the arms, very nice hand sculpts as well. It's very dark in coloration, it really is, but you can see on the underside, look at that incredible, absolutely insane amount of sculpt and everything on the underside. And one thing you'll notice is that beautiful dark wash they've included that just makes all that detail pop and just look absolutely real, in my opinion. I think they've done an incredibly nice job on the way they've applied the wash, and it makes it just look super realistic. As we start to run up the side of the animal, you can again see all the little scales and very small, minute sculpt work that has gone into this, all the little tiny osteoderms here and there, and again some nice wrinkling here of the skin in the stomach. You've also got some beautiful skin folds here, a little bit on the downside here of the stomach, and you can really take note of the skin kind of bunching up here, right in this leg, right as this leg is pushing up into the stomach as it's taking a step forward. Again, really showing the movement of the dinosaur, and it looks beautiful. And then we run up here into the hip bone again, proving once again that this is really not shrink wrapped. It looks incredible, and it looks nice and actually kind of beefy. So they've done a great job as far as the overall appearance of the dinosaur's health. It looks like a very healthy, very lively Giganotosaurus. Again, very nice musculature here in this leg, and you can once again see all this beautiful hanging skin, kind of like skin folds and stuff, and creases and cracks in the skin. Just looks absolutely beautiful, just beyond words beautiful, all over here in this rear leg. And then we come down here into the calf muscle. It's also very large, and you can again really take note of that beautiful wash they've used all over the place. The feet are once again a very dark coloration, but overall they are sculpted really nicely. The nails are painted nicely. There's no real sloppiness or anything. Beautiful dew claw over there and everything. Really, everything is just done so well on this figure. And then we start to run out the length of the tail, and you can really see all the beautiful skin sculpting and detailing the whole way out. And I think that this paint scheme, as I said before, is just really, really natural, really real looking, but so cool and so flashy at the same time. It's honestly such a neat paint scheme that they've come up with. And I think they've just done an absolutely great job of just knocking this thing out of the park with the way that they went with the paint scheme. It just looks super flashy, but so realistic. And then coming down here onto this side, you can again see the arm is really beautifully sculpted, really nice looking. You can see the nails painted on this side. And again, you can kind of see the arm here bunching up the skin a little bit on the stomach, but nothing like what you see on the legs. And as we go up the side of the stomach here, you can really see that beautiful sculpting of the scales and the skin detail again. And just look at how naturally applied and very realistically applied the paint is. It all really looks like the body color of the animal and not just paint applied. So kudos to Eofauna for the way they've done this paint job. It just looks really, really realistic. And again, coming down into the stomach, you can see some very nice creases of the skin, and the skin stretching right here as the left leg is pulling the skin back. This whole area, all this right here, is just awesome. Look at how insanely real looking the way the skin reacting to the body movement just looks. Even it like runs all the way down here into the upper thigh area, or the mid-thigh I should say. It just looks super real. It really looks like the animal is actually moving and is in that position. Eofauna really has outdone themselves with this figure, and it's insane to think that this is their first dinosaur figure. So this just means that they're only going to get better and better with time. Everywhere you look on the actual thigh here, you can just see the way the skin is reacting to the movement of the dinosaur. It just looks crazy realistic. This is something that I just did not expect. I expected this to be very good, but not quite as good as it is. It's really honestly jaw-dropping. And then you come down here, you can see beautiful calf muscles as you run down into the foot, which is in an absolutely perfect stance for the position that it is in. Very nice, very bird-like, beautifully painted nails once again. And then you come up, you can see some more creases of the skin, some more very nice wash that has been included to really show that incredible detail as we run out the entire length of this very long and slightly curved tail. So this Giganotosaurus is just incredible. I will say, however, I've seen a few other people talking about their Giganotosaurus, and I had noticed that other people said that their Giganotosaurus stood perfectly. Mine does not. In fact, this is actually now leveled out, so this is a completely level surface, but mine just consistently falls over. I don't know why. See, I just cannot get it to balance. I really can't. So I'm going to try probably maybe the little hot water, cold water trick and position this leg out a little bit more maybe. But the leg honestly is really, really stiff. So I don't know how well that'll work. But as of right now, the Giganotosaurus itself does not stand very well. But again, maybe if I can reposition that leg, it might make a world of difference when it comes to that. As always with Eofauna, you get a little card here stating what the dinosaur is and the scale that it is in. And then if I actually disconnect it, you can see that there are all sorts of stats and information on the inside of that. I don't know if I'm going to disconnect it honestly quite yet. And then you get an incredible card. Look at how beautiful that artwork is of the Giganotosaurus. And it's exactly in the paint scheme you see on the figure. You've got some incredible looking pterosaurs flying in the background. That really, really makes this entire thing just kind of take it over the top when it comes to the beauty department of this entire set, honestly. It just looks so great. And then you've got this little information. You can see the size comparison next to a human and everything down there, along with some information like showing you where it lived in South America. And then Eofauna on the back. So really, really cool that they include this kind of stuff with their figures for anybody that is interested in the actual dinosaur and not just getting a figure of a dinosaur. If you want any kind of information on said species, those cards are a big help. As far as a size goes on this Giganotosaurus, and it is a pretty big one, from the tail to the head, you are looking at about 14 3/4 inches, or about 30, almost 37.5 centimeters, I'd say, in that range. And as far as a height goes, you're looking at about a little over about 4 1/4 inches, or about 11, almost 11 centimeters, a little bit under. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, and you can see that these are not exactly to scale with each other because the Giganotosaurus would be significantly larger than the Papo Rex, but you can see that the Papo Rex here is definitely a good bit larger, especially taller. I think the Giganotosaurus would probably be longer than the Papo Rex, but regardless, you can probably get a pretty good idea of the size of this Giganotosaurus. It is definitely a fairly sizable figure. Now, there are a few other Giganotosauruses out there on the market right now that I can say definitely compare to this one, and that would probably be Safari Ltd's Giganotosaurus and Vitae's Giganotosaurus, which both of those are just off-the-wall awesome figures. But it's such a tough call, but I think this one might be the best Giganotosaurus that there is. It's really hard to say it, but honestly, this thing is just absolutely awesome. I would actually probably rate all three of those in a very similar area. They're probably about the same as far as how much I like them, but I think that this one might just be just a tiny bit better. But the fact that it doesn't balance too well is a little bit of a bummer for me, and since I have seen other people's balance, I'm thinking that it hopefully is just something with mine, and maybe I can work that out and try to get it to balance. Overall, the appearance of this is just awesome. It is so realistic looking and so beautifully painted that it honestly just blows my mind. It is so natural and so real looking. It legitimately, when I take a step back, looks like a living, breathing dinosaur standing right here in front of me. The way they've applied that wash all over the body just makes all the detail pop and just looks so realistic to me. And the overall appearance of this dinosaur altogether is just mind-blowingly beautiful. This is probably my favorite dinosaur release of 2019 so far, and yes, I get 2019 started just recently, but honestly, as far as the eye can see, I think the only company that probably has potential of beating this out is PNSO at this point, because their stuff is just honestly amazing. But then again, Collect Day's got some pretty darn nice stuff coming out this year too, as does Safari Ltd. Papo's got a few that might be okay, but honestly, this Eofauna Giganotosaurus is going to be really hard to beat. But as of right now, this is definitely leading the lineup as far as amazing 2019 figures, because this thing is just incredible. So if you do want to purchase a Giganotosaurus from Eofauna yourself, and trust me when I tell you, you will not regret doing that, this figure is for sale, as I mentioned previously, on everythingdinosaur.com, which is exactly where I ordered mine. And I 1000% recommend anybody with an interest in dinosaurs picking up this Giganotosaurus, because I can assure you with complete confidence that you will not regret buying this figure. It is an absolute work of art. So I will throw a link in the description to this figure on everythingdinosaur.com where you can purchase one for yourself. It is for sale also on BigBadToyStore.com, so if Everything Dinosaur happens to go out of stock, you could probably get one on BigBadToyStore.com, but I think they're a little cheaper from Everything Dinosaur. So either way, check the description and go purchase one for yourself. As I said, definitely you will not regret it. It is insanely nice. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.